So basically, what they're trying to say here is they've been approached by a personal trainer who wants to create ready-made foods similar to other brands like U-Foods, Gym Food Australia, whatever else, 5.4, blah, blah, blah. So a PT is looking to do that, hit her up to do a nutritional breakdown of the foods for them to sell. They're going to pay them a certain amount of money for this, but then they're going to use that ongoing. She asked questions around whether or not they're going to have dietitian approved on it and things of that nature. And basically, she was worried about the legal obligations. She's not quite sure whether she fully understands that and what happens if something dodgy happens with the foods or that type of thing. So she just asked for my input.
What was your input, Tyson? I'd be interested to hear what you said to this.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, you're not being facetious.
Maybe.
So you are being facetious. All right, great.
No, I really don't know a lot about it either. So.
All right, so basically how I look at that is I am risk averse when it comes, or not risk averse, but basically wanted to really ensure that obligations are followed. So I would say there needs to be some kind of contract as to how that information is going to be used. Because for me, if you're doing nutrition analysis, they're going to have to give you a recipe for you to then nutritionally analyze. If someone's doing this from a home kitchen, that recipe could change every single day. You don't know, you don't have any control over it, and how are you going to control that? Can they change the recipe without telling you, still using nutritional information? Maybe you put your name on it, maybe you put dietitian approved. Are you okay with that?
Is she going to actually
how are they
a business name?
Yeah. How are you going to portion it out? Like if they portioned out the food, how do you know that all the portions are exactly the same? If they're in a big factory warehouse, that becomes easier because they've got a contract with their supplier and the person who's actually making a manufacturer. But if you're doing it in a local home kitchen, whatever, then it becomes a bit of a grey game. And I'm not entirely comfortable with that from a personal aspect, but in terms of protecting yourself, I think it's making sure you have those discussions and then put a contract in place, even if it's something really simple, but something that will protect you and remove all liability from you. And when you give the nutritional analysis, actually have a caveat in there about this is based on recipe information given attached, make sure it's all PDF'd, make sure that it's all one document, have both parties sign that, so then at least you've got evidence of what was actually given, what date, and based on what information. So then that way, if a year, 2 years, 5 years down the track, something dodgy happens, you go, no, I only did it with this. This is the contract we had. This is the analysis I did not do that. And then I'd also put stuff in the contract about you cannot use my personal name, or they have to use your name depending on how you want to do it. Yeah, depending on how you want to do it. And that'll all depend on the contract, what the personal trainer or whoever else is doing these meals wants. We looked into it before. Things got close to an agreement and then didn't really happen. But yeah, there's a lot of issues with it. So it's something to be really careful of. I'm trying to read what else I said.
Old me would have been like, oh yeah, sweet, just do it. Now I'm like,
yeah, exactly. Like when I read this,
like Tyson's brain going,
yeah. So
it's like a rolling shit here, rolling downhill.
Yeah, and then what else did I say? All I said was pretty much what that was. Do not accept any liability for inaccuracy of the software, rest of the development, portion sizes of meal changes, blah, blah, blah. You just want to be as protected as you possibly can, and that $400 might look good, or $1,000 or $5,000. But in the end, if something goes bad, it could be $1 million that you get hit up for if someone sues you. So,
but good for you for getting asked.
Yeah, no, like awesome opportunity, but I think it needs to be real measured approach rather than like, oh, this is such a good opportunity, I want to do it. It's just like, yeah, but what's the downside? Like you can do a nutrition analysis on recipes right now in your own home. You don't have to do it for them in terms of that. In terms of getting your name out there, it could be good or it could just ruin your career. Boom.